En 3, 2, 1. Good morning, dear friends, dear colleagues, or good afternoon, good evening. We're very happy to have you with us this week. My name is Inés Valenzuela. I'm the product manager at Condor Travel. And today we're going to have a very exciting itinerary, very detailed with our experts from the Peru, Bolivia, and Chile offices. We're going to talk about our famous Andean Trilogy. This is a very exciting itinerary full of adventure for those who are seeking a little bit of more in-depth experience and an overland adventure. Joining us today and presenting will be Susan Saco-Vertiz, Europe Sales Director, Sebastian Grisi, Country Manager for Bolivia, and Stephanie Pajuelo, our Country Manager for our Chile office. And also on the Q&A section that you have on the right-hand side of your screen, Bastian Palma, Commercial Manager of Condor Travel Chile. He will be also commenting a little bit on the experiences on the part of Chile of this itinerary. So without further ado, I leave you guys with Susan, who is going to be presenting for us the Peru part. Hi, Susan, how are you?
Hi, can you hear me very well?
Perfect.
Perfect. Well, hello everyone. I'm very happy and very excited to share with all of you. It's a special. I'm going to share my presentation. Please, I would highly appreciate if you could let me know if you can see it.
It's coming through. Just 1 second. We see it, and in full screen.
You can see
Perfect.
it?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So good morning, Latin America. Good afternoon in Europe, and good night maybe in Asia. So I hope we would like to take you to this beautiful journey. And so grab your coffee, maybe it's already night, why not your wine, your beer, just to take you to these 3 destinations. So I would like to put my alarm just to, okay, perfect. I have only like exact time. So in this case, we're going to talk about these Andean destinations. First, we are going to go to Peru. I'm from Peru. Then we are going to go to Bolivia, and we will end up in Atacama in Chile with the amazing stars that they have in the night. So something that I highly recommend. There is something that I personally would like to share with all of you. I made this trip 3 years ago, and it was fantastic because of the views that you have. You see Machu Picchu, as I said, Uyuni, no matter what, if it's the rainy season or maybe the dry season, and then you end up in Atacama with these stars. But also because I made this trip with my now husband, so I fell in love in Bolivia. Thank you, Sebastian, for your help and all your support during this trip 3 years ago. So that's why it's so special for me to share with all of you these amazing destinations. So let's start. So this is the overview of a classic program if we combine the 3 destinations. So you will need minimum 16 days, 15 nights. You're going to stay in Peru 7 days, in Bolivia 5 days, and at the end in Chile around 4 days. This is the minimum that we recommend you. Of course, if your passenger can stay longer, why not? They can make a big South American tour. So we are going to experiment different altitudes. So first, we're going to arrive in Lima, which is almost at the same sea level. So you won't experience any mountain sickness. So this is Miraflores. This is a beautiful view of this district. You can stay here in Miraflores, which is super touristic, very nice, front ocean view. Maybe in San Isidro, which is more corporate, or maybe in Barranco, which is a bohemian district that I really like. So some experiences that we offer in Lima could be on share basis and also some private services. We can customize everything according to your passengers' desires. So first we are going to talk about the city tour. So let's start. This is the historical center and it's surrounded by the governmental palace. Then you have the cathedral. This is a beautiful place. There is a must that you have to visit. And then we're going to take you to some other districts, the ones that I mentioned, Miraflores and also San Isidro, for example. And something that we highly recommend is to visit the Largo Museum, because it's the first entrance, first of all, and also it's the best entrance to understand our culture and our history. So let me take you there to the Largo Museum, sorry. So actually they have the storage and it's public for everybody. So this is very interesting because you can see all these ceramic pieces. And also you have the opportunity to have lunch or maybe dinner. They have a beautiful garden. And the director of the museum, actually she was for a short period, the Minister of Culture. So it's very beautiful, this museum in general. And most of the people, they know Peru only because of the Incas, but we had different cultures in the past. So this is the best entrance to understand us. Also, they offer some activities for the kids. So it's very important. They learn also, and they are having fun, no? Some other museums that I highly recommend if you're doing a private tour, they are the Pedro de Osma, and this is, for example, for passengers that they would like to explore more about the colonial and republic paintings that we have, or the Mate museums. This is more about photography. Mario Testino, very famous photographer, a Peruvian one. Or a Mano museum, where you can find more textiles. So these are the museums that we highly recommend if you're staying longer. Other options that you can visit as well. Callao is where actually our airport is located, and also our main port is located there. And it's also a very artistic neighborhood, so you will find a lot of graffitis, urban streets, so it's very beautiful, so highly recommended. But maybe also if you like the colors or this kind of bohemian vibe, just to say like that, you can also visit Barranco. Everything is walking distance there, so we can recommend it as well. If you have passengers, they are more demanding ones. So we recommend to do a Lima Infinity City Tour. As you know, Infinity is our luxury brand, and we want to bring this wow factor every day during the whole program. So in this case, they are going to visit the Aliaga house. This is a very beautiful house, and even you have the chance to be welcomed by one of the members of the family there. This is very exclusive only for Condor passengers. Then you are going to visit the Huaca Puquiana, located in Miraflores, one of the oldest one. And then you are going to end up at the Hotel B, which is located in Barranco. And this is a boutique hotel, beautiful one, and you will toast with an ocean view just to end the trip. So it's a beautiful way to finish your tour for the day. Some of the restaurants that we recommend, because Lima is very well known because of the gastronomy, are Central, Maido, Astrid de Gaston. Keep in mind that we need to make the reservations in advance, so we are here to support you if the passengers, they would like to feel the flavors of our country. Next, we are going to go to Cusco. We are going to take you higher in terms of altitude. So we are going to take the plane. It's only 1 hour and 20 minutes to Cusco. And Cusco was the capital of the Incas Empire, and it's a beautiful city. So as I said, in terms of altitude, it's very high. So for this program, we are going to take all the passengers to Sacre Valley. Sacre Valley, in this case, it takes 2 hours to go there. We have multiple hotels and very beautiful ones to stay with river view, maybe, all of them very green. So this is a very good option because that way the passengers, they can take it easy and, you know, more slow that day, and then be prepared for the next tours. This is Sacre Valley. This is the Moray, a viewpoint of Moray. So different experiences in Sacre Valley. We have shared programs or shared tours as the full day authentic Sacre Valley, the treasures of Sacre Valley, and some private options as well. We're going to talk about the treasures of Sacre Valley. So you are going to visit Moray Terrace, Misminay, the community, and also Ollantaytambo Fortress. And for the authentic one, you are going to visit Chincheros, and you will have a weaving demonstration, and also Ollantaytambo Fortress. Let me show you a bit. This is Ollantaytambo. This fortress has a very beautiful viewpoint of the whole Sacre Valley, so highly recommend to go there. This is Misminay. Misminay is a very authentic community, and they will be very happy to welcome all of our passengers. You will have lunch there. And yeah, it's an experience that you will never forget. And also, if your passengers, they will have more time, they can do it as a private tour and they can stay even longer and learn about their daily activities. Also, if you have passengers, they would like to learn about more about our culture, we can take them to chincheros where they preserve their culture and they can show you how to do textiles and also weaving. So you can see this demonstration and also learn with them. Next, we are going to take you to Machu Picchu. So we have several options. So we have Peru Rail and also we have Inca Rail options. So with Peru Rail, we have different trains. We have the Expedition, we have the Vistadom, the Sacred Valley train, but maybe your passengers, they are more, they would like to have the trip in a luxury way, so why not? You can take also the Hairambingan. The Hairambingan, the way back is a full party, everything is included, you have dinner on board, and if you want to board a train like Leonardo DiCaprio, because he took this train, do it. I think it's a very beautiful way, and you will never forget. Then we have Inca Rail. They have different options as well, the Voyager, the Private, First Class, and also 360, all of them very good. And finally, we're going to reach on one of the highlights of the program, but this is just the beginning, just to let you know. So Machu Picchu, as soon as we already are there, so we just want to take pictures just to enjoy. Personally, I've been more than 5 times in Machu Picchu, and every experience was different. The vibe, the energy. This is something that you really need to live. Some ways to go to Machu Picchu. For this program, we are doing a full day tour, but also if your passengers, they have more time, we highly recommend to overnight in Aguascalientes or maybe in the hotel next to the ruins, which is the Sanctuary Lodge, and then you will have a second entrance for the next day without people. So this is something that we highly recommend if you would like to do it. Now, we have to take the train back to Cusco City, and it's time to discover the city. We're going to see, this is a very beautiful view of the city. First, we are going to do the city tour in Cusco that includes the Coricancha temple. And in the past, this temple was full of gold inside. Full of gold. You have a very beautiful viewpoint also from the whole city from there. Then you're going to go to Sacsayhuamán. And Sacsayhuamán is a very beautiful fortress, and it is with massive stones actually, and they perfectly fit with each other. So if you try, for example, to put like a paper or something like that, it won't fit. It's impressive. And something that I have to tell you about this spectacular place is what you see is only the 20% of the remaining. So it was huge in the past. Also, you can visit the cathedral where you can find a lot of paintings of the colonial period. And this is very interesting because if you like techniques in general, painting techniques, you will learn a lot about the Escuela Cusqueña. Some other options that we highly recommend for our passengers is San Blas, to visit San Blas neighborhood. Here you will find a lot of artists, artisans, so why not? If you have some free time, explore this neighborhood. It's very beautiful. Some additional experiences that we recommend in Cusco as well. We have it on shared service and also private service, so you can visit the planetarium. It's amazing. It's also very highly recommend for families. You can make chocolate as well, or maybe you can visit the market. You can have some cooking class lessons. Why not? Or maybe in the picture you can see some cocktail lessons. We are very proud of the pisco sour, so I believe that you should learn how to do it. So this is a picture of the planetarium. So it's a beautiful experience. And now we are going to take you to Puno. So the way to Puno takes around 10 hours. I took this, I took the bus twice to do this route, and it was 10 hours, but actually you don't feel it so much because you do some stops on the way. So I will tell you a bit more about the stops. You have lunch on the way, but the first stop is Andahuaylillas. And it's very well known as the Sistine Chapel of the Andes. So actually you are not allowed to take pictures there, but it's a beautiful church. So it's a must on the way. There you're going to continue to Rakchi. And Rakchi was very well known as the Wiracocha temple. Just grab your camera, take all the pictures, it's very beautiful. And then you're going to visit also Pucará. But don't forget the highest spot. We are going to make also a stop at La Raya. And La Raya is the highest point from Cusco to Puno. You will be more than 4,335 meters. It's, wow, super high. One option that we highly recommend if your passengers, for example, they didn't have the chance to make the Inca Trail, maybe because they were not fit enough or maybe because of time. So they have this chance to, from Rakchi, they can do the Capañán. In this case, they will discover the big Inca Trail that it was so long from Ecuador to Argentina. So they will learn more about the big Inca Trail. And this is a full day excursion. It only takes less than 3 hours. Highly recommended if your passengers, they had this dream to do it. And it's a soft trek, so the difficulty is low. Now we already arrived to Puno, so my recommendation, you have to visit both sides, the Peruvian side and also the Bolivian side. Some of the excursions that we highly recommend in Puno, you have to visit for sure the Floating Islands in Uros, Siyustani Tombs, Taquile. Taquile is, for me, my favorite island in the Peruvian side. And they preserve the culture. You can learn a lot about from the locals. It's very beautiful. Or maybe you can overnight also in Amantani, very mysterious island. So these are our recommendations. So after that, after your passengers, they have visited one of these islands, maybe 2 of them. Now we are going to take you to the border. It takes 3 hours. And now in the border, I'm going to introduce my colleague, Sebastian Grisi, who is going to take you all the way to Bolivia. Thank you so much for your attention, and I hope you have enjoyed this trip.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Thank you, Susan, for the introduction, and thank you also for recommending visiting the Bolivian part of Titicaca Lake. Let me share my screen. Many of you know me already. We have done some previous webinars already, and this time I will be talking you about the Bolivian part of this Andean trilogy. Please, Ine, can you tell me if you see the screen?
Yes, perfect. Excellent.
So first of all, I wanted to show you in the map how the trip or these 6 days in Bolivia are going to look like. We'll drive from Puno, as Susan explained, we'll drive from Puno all the way to the border of Casani, 3 hours. We will cross the border, we'll visit the town of Copacabana, the main town in the Bolivian side of the lake. And from there on, we will take a boat 1 hour to Sun Island. We will spend 1 night on Sun Island, and the next day we will continue to La Paz. We'll visit La Paz, of course. From La Paz, we'll take a flight to Uyuni. We'll visit the salt flats. And from Uyuni, we'll continue southern to the colorful lagoons and crossing the border of Ito Cajon near San Pedro de Atacama. So this is what I'm going to show you now in the next slides, mainly pictures, some details important for you to know. But here we go. Here's the detailed map about Titicaca. From Puno, as we were saying, all the way on the road to the border of Casani, we'll visit Copacabana. We'll take the boat to Sun Island. We'll visit Sun Island, Moon Island, go back to Copacabana, and continue the trip to La Paz. We have 2 borders with Peru, and we will be using for this program the border of Casani, so we can visit Sun Island. Once we arrive at Sun Island, we'll have the chance to visit or to see some pre-Inca ruins. We will stay at Eco Lodge La Estancia, We will learn a little bit more about the culture itself of Titicaca Lake, of Sun Island. We will learn a lot of sustainability, and here's where we are going to stay. So in a traditional program or a traditional Andean trilogy, we will stay only one night here, but we totally recommend to stay at least 2 nights. So you have plenty of time to visit and to do many of the activities we could offer on Titicaca Lake. So sustainability is really important nowadays more than ever, as you know. So Eco Lodge is built in a traditional way, respecting the traditional architecture of the place. We build the Eco Lodge in different tacanas or the Andean terraces. We use solar panels and plenty of the things. No, we work a lot with the community also. Beautiful views over the lake, of course. Here are some of what I was explaining you already. Trombe method is a solar heating passive system that we use in the rooms. We work a lot with the community, as I was telling you, people working in the lodge and also outside the lodge. The water treatment, we collect water from rain. Each cabin has its own collector for rain, so we can use it also on the gardens and on the ecological menu we have, you know, in the greenhouse. Some of the activities we do, as I was telling you, the traditional ones, if you stay 1 night, you will visit some of the pre-Inca ruins, you will have the chance to meet the locals. But if you stay longer, you can do more hikes, for example, longer hikes. You can visit the neighbors of La Estancia. We are introducing also a new activity within all the activities of the lodge, which is to see how exactly these ladies of Sun Island weave their textiles. No? And we work with an NGO, and the idea is to protect how they do it and the way they do these textiles, which is really important, and it belongs also to a sustainable development of tourism that we're creating on Sun Island. Of course, food is really important also. You will have the chance to try different types of typical food. And here are some beautiful pictures. This is a tapi, this is a community lunch where supposedly, you know, I mean, we organize this for our tours, but in the tradition is actually that different families, they take what they have in their own houses. For example, I have potatoes, I will take potato to lunch, and the other one will take, I don't know, trout or chicken or whatever, no? And then we share the entire food. So this is Aptapi is the name. Pachamama, you know, Mother Earth is really important also. We could organize an Andean tradition, you know, Chaya or a Pachamama ceremony. This is one of other pictures of visiting the locals from La Estancia to see how they live, which tools they use for every day, for work, and it's really interesting to know what or how they live on Sun Island. This is a picture of from our greenhouse, where passengers can go inside, of course, learn a little bit more, even take out some, for example, tomatoes for breakfast. And the hikes, no, amazing views all over the island. It's a really beautiful place. That's why I totally recommend if you can stay, or your passengers can stay 1 night longer on Titicaca Lake. So after visiting Titicaca, we'll drive all the way from Copacabana to La Paz, also 3.5 hours more or less. And in La Paz, we will stay 2 nights. You know, the first night we will arrive late in the afternoon, and on the next day, what we traditionally do is a traditional city tour, and then we have the afternoon free, you know, for different activities. Here's some general information about La Paz. The airport, or El Alto, where the airport is located at 4,100 meters. Downtown La Paz, 3,600, and the southern zone where many five-star hotels are is more or less at 3,300 meters above sea level. Important to mention that Titicaca Lake lays at 3,800 meters and the Eco Lodge at 4,000 meters. So if you're doing this Andean Trilogy and you have passengers worrying about altitude sickness, and it isn't going to be really a problem, because they will be spending some time in Cusco, in the Sacred Valley, back to Cusco, to Puno. So actually when they arrive to Bolivia, because on the southern part of Uyuni will reach places higher than the average, but they will be already acclimatized. No? La Paz is really important for us in general. It's a touristic hub. We have plenty of things to do around La Paz, Tiwanaku Ruins, the Andes, the Yungas, where the death road is, for mountain biking. We have flights everywhere to every city in the country. So La Paz is really important. So as I was telling you, after the first night in La Paz, in the morning we will do a traditional city tour, where more or less 4 hours, where we visit some museums. It will depend on what the passenger want to see exactly, or what interest the passengers has. We will visit the historic center of La Paz, and we will go southern also to visit the Moon Valley. And all of this also included a cable car ride, which you saw the picture already. These cable cars, we have already 10 different lines crossing all over La Paz, and even to El Alto. So it's a really beautiful way to see also La Paz. So at one point of the city tour, the passengers will hop on one of these telefericos, or cable cars, as we name them. In the afternoon, we can offer another type of city tour with shoe shiners. It's a whole project we are supporting, where the actual shoe shiners, they are the guides. So they will take us on a walking tour, 3-hour walking tour more or less, to different places of La Paz where the traditional tourist doesn't go, or doesn't get to see, So it is really interesting, and of course there is a part of the money spent on the city tour goes directly to the shoe shiner guide and to their families. Of course, it's a really interesting project we are supporting here in La Paz. So this is as an optional, no? If your passengers also interested in staying a little bit more than 1 day in La Paz for the Andean Trilogy, you could also visit in a half-day Tiwanaku Ruins, Pre-Inca Ruins, if you have passengers interested in archaeology, belongs to UNESCO World Heritage, and this could be done also in a half-day. So for example, you have a traditional city tour, and in the afternoon, either Tiwanaku or the Shoe Shines project. And if they are crazy about a little adventure, they can extend the trip for 1 day and do the death road, with mountain bikes, which is well known everywhere in the world. So from La Paz, we'll take a flight to Uyuni, 50-minute flight. For Uyuni, all the information is recorded on a previous webinar I did about Uyuni, how to get there, the different ways, different lodging types. So I'm going to explain you more or less how a traditional full-day tour looks like. So we arrive in Uyuni, we'll visit the train cemetery, we will enter Uyuni through Colchani, we'll visit the artisanal salt factory, we will visit Incahuasi, at some point we'll have lunch in the middle of salt flats, we will head northern to Tunupa volcano to see also some pre-Columbian ruins, and then we'll drive back to Colchani and spend 1 night in a salt hotel. So here is the list what we were just talking about. Sunset obviously is always included. At night you can do some stargazing also, some sunrise tours, which are really beautiful. And here's some pictures about what I was just telling you. The train cemetery. This is a picture taken from Incahuasi Island with the giant cacti. On the northern part of Salar is Tunupa. Lunch could look like this. If you have passengers doing more FIT tailor-made program also, this is also the aptapi meal I was telling you about, but more prepared for a small group, for example. and this is sunset also more in a luxurious way. And you will stay in a salt hotel. There are 3 different salt hotels. The pictures I'm going to show you are from Palacio, entirely made out of salt. They have also built a beautiful new spa, and it is a must to stay one night in a salt hotel. If you have passengers more luxurious or want to spend a little bit more money, we can offer also Cachi Lodge, which is they are located in the northern part of Salar. Again, all the information you need to know on the previous webinars we did about Uyuni, but these are luxury domes, no? in the northern part of Salar, which is really beautiful, and more for a high-end passenger. So you can combine also, or you can add one more day and combine one night in a salt hotel and one night in these luxurious domes, and everything is luxurious. And you can do also the full day in another way. You can do it more adventurous. Again, we did a webinar only about adventure, biking, hiking, trekking, but these are some pictures on the South Flats. And as I was telling you, the stargazing tours at night are really beautiful. And from Uyuni, we'll continue southern to the lagoons, as I was telling you also before, to cross until San Pedro de Atacama. So we'll spend 2 days, 1 night en route, probably spending the night mainly in Villamar, in Malcucueva, at the middle of the way. And during the way, there are beautiful sights. It is a little bit more adventurous place rather than Uyuni, that's more traditional, you know, because the roads here are not paved, everything is dirt roads, so you have to know the places. Distances are big, but the sightseeing, the scenery is really worth it. I mean, beautiful places, beautiful lagoons, geysers. This is Sol de Mañana, morning sun. So everything is, the entire place, you know, is a volcanic chain, you know, so many places. Important to know when to travel. You're wondering, when can I see salt flats underwater, which is really cool. And this is on rainy season between December and March, April, depends on the weather, on Mother Earth actually. But you can visit Uyuni actually the entire year round, on dry season and on rainy season. Here are the details, temperature, you know, your altitude, it's always going to be cold at night or early in the morning, but during the day you can be actually in t-shirt also, if the weather is fine. Some recommendations about what to bring. In general, this is what you do or what you take for a trip into the Andes or the Andean Plateau, Peru or Bolivia or Chile, it doesn't matter. Comfortable walking shoes, you know, you have to dress up like an onion with different layers. These are some general recommendations. And with this, we'll leave the passengers at the border of Ito Cajon. And from here, the Chile team will take over. And now in the webinar, specifically with Stephanie and Bastian, I believe. So this is for Bolivia.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sebastian. Well, I think that so far most of the people that's joining us today already know us, the Chilean team. I'm Stephanie, the country manager in Condor Chile, and today I'm with Bastian Palma, our commercial manager. We are very excited to be with you today, especially beginning of September, which is the month of Chile, the happiest month of Chile, where everyone is celebrating the independence, empanadas, and it's, I would say, the happiest days for every Chileans and residents here. So welcome. I'm glad to welcome you to the country, and I will imagine that after this amazing trip and to continue a little bit of the path of what we've been talking, I would say that you will be wondering, okay, I've been into Machu Picchu, one of the world wonderings, this amazing Uyuni salt flats. So I think Susan and Sebastian had already set the bar very high. So The only thing I can say is that you will be entering to a town or a place of also Asian cultures. San Pedro de Atacama is it's full of Asian cultures, tradition, the Atacameños, a town surrounded of amazing nature, volcanoes, like to see the imponent Licancabur volcano, the surrounding, it's amazing. And a town where also it is considered one of the most beautiful skies and cleanest skies in the world. So the stargazing experiences are really nice. And finally, of course, Santiago, where I'm saying hi from, a cosmopolitan city, a hub in South America where you can get connections to. So Bastian is today with us to join us and let us know a little bit more of each. I think we have time to talk more about Chile also, and to close with his also great energy. So, Bastian.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. Well, after all the amazing places that we've already seen, get your passport, please, ready to make this border cross. And just with a 1 hour transfer, you'll be already reaching San Pedro de Atacama. Here you have some pictures of Caracoles Street. This is pretty much the main street in San Pedro Atacama. Here is where all the agencies, restaurants, well, not pubs, but places to go and have a drink are available. And as you can realize, there's a legal instruction in San Pedro de Atacama that keeps the color down, not to, make a confusion on the view that you have with all this earth color all around. So that's pretty much why you will see all these constructions in this order. Well, some great things about going to San Pedro Atacama from Uyuni is actually that you don't have to wait any day longer to start and making full day trips that are above the 4,000 meters above the sea level, which is amazing because usually you need to wait at least 2 days before going to the Tatio or those kind of tours. So that's not a problem in this tour. Some general recommendations that we can give you as accommodation are here, pictures of some of our providers like Casa Don Tomás, Altiplánico, and on a luxury section we have Tierra Atacama and Alto Atacama as well. And to share some of the most exclusive and famous experiences in this area, we have the Moon and Death Ballet Tour, which is very famous in this area. Everyone has ever, if you are in San Pedro Atacama, of course, you will go to this place and you can do it by in a regular tour. You also have the chance to make some sunboard on the Death Valley. And now we have launched this amazing experience in a motorcycle for you to enjoy the dunes at the Moon Valley. Just like I said before, we also have the chance to visit the geothermic geyser del Tatio. This is a very famous tour as well, as I already mentioned. And these pictures just represent how you will have this amazing sunrise with all these incredible pictures that we are sharing, and this also breakfast that will be arranged for you during this tour. It's very important to mention that our general recommendation is always to keep you hydrated by drinking a lot of water. We also recommend that you should try not to, drink until very late the day before, because you will be starting the tour between 5 or 6 a.m. And a great thing about this tour is that you also can mix it with the Machuca village, which is on the way to the geysers. And also you can combine it in case you want to have a very relaxed experience after the tune and waking up so early in the morning by mixing it with the Puritama Hot Springs, which is also amazing. Being in San Pedro Atacama, or in this part of Chile, we have been nominated the best place all over the world to make astronomy. And this picture tries to, give this power to this title that we have. And San Pedro Atacama actually is a place, not in San Pedro, I'm sorry, but let's say that a few hours driving from them, you have one of the most famous astronomy centers for making this observatory, and we have different options to provide this experience on a tour, on a shared basis, or also on a private basis if you want to keep in another line too. Some other places very famous in San Pedro Atacama is the Chaxa Lagoon or the Puritama Hot Springs, which is the recommendation that I give you before. And among a bunch of other tours that you can do in this area, it's incredibly how much this San Pedro Atacama section has grown for us. People used to believe that 3 days it was more than enough to do it. I know that after a holiday like this, you may experience that 2 nights is or enough to make, but in case you want to extend it, this is definitely an amazing place to do it. After being in San Pedro Atacama, as you may know, you have an hour and 30 minutes to reach Calama Airport and get your flight back to our main city, like Stephanie said, where we are having this presentation from. Santiago has the, I would say, the special characteristic about being this place where you can do so many different things around the same area. Here in Santiago, we have walking tours, city tours, normal, just to go around the corner of the city and see the most iconic highlights of our city. But as you may know, we are very famous for being wine producers, and we have different activities to take you on a half day or a full day tour to enjoy this ride and also mix it with a wine tasting because, you know, they say that Chilean wine is always good. So we will be very happy for you to try them. And some other recommendations that we can have about tours, it's Viña del Mar in Valparaíso, which is also very classic and iconic. We have 2 hours and 30 minutes from Santiago de Colchagua Valley, where we produce our best brands of red wine. And also this picture on horses that you are seeing on the left side that are related to a full day Chilean countryside experience that we have been working on and we want you to, of course, try. This is mixed with a wine tasting experience. It's also joined to a typical lunch in a very high-end property with this outdoor activity that can be replaced by a bike tour or a half and soft walk. This picture that you're seeing, it's just to invite you in case you want to extend this trip a few nights in Santiago. There are some other activities that we would like to recommend at you by this impressive view that we have from our beloved city. So I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have about our presentation.
Thank you, Bastian, very much. I think that's a lot of information for our viewers to process. So I think it will be fine. We're posting on the Q&A section also the links to the webinars of Uyuni before the webinar of Peru, and right now we will be posting the link to the webinar of Santiago, which goes really in depth on the experiences that you can have at this destination. So thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, Stephanie and Bastian, Sebastian, and Susan at the beginning for this presentation. I'm really signing up for this trip whenever it's possible again. So please count me in. We want to give you guys once again the details of our commercial team in case you have any further questions or need more information about this itinerary or any other experiences that we offer in our destinations throughout South America. And also we will be shortly posting on the Q&A section in a second model program so that you can access a sample program of this itinerary, and then you can keep adding up on top of that other experiences that suit your clients to their best needs. So once again, we wish to invite you to stay tuned to our webinar series landing page, where you will find all of the previous webinars recordings and in a few more hours the recording to the webinar of today as well, and also to follow us on social media to stay tuned to any other contents and information. Next up on our webinar series, in 2 more weeks, we will be talking about celebrating our cultures. So we will also have joining us people from our different offices. to share with us experiences that really celebrate the living cultures at each of our destinations and that help promote the conservation of our cultural intangible heritage and also to support local economies. So please sign up. Registration is now open. We're also posting the link to the registration form on the Q&A section right now as well. And that's it from us today. We hope you've enjoyed this and thank you very much. Bye-bye.